Our least favorite conversation to have, or question that we get, is how much does a kitchen remodel cost? So we're here today in our personal home kitchen to talk about just that subject.
So it's kind of like if you go into a Ferrari dealership and you're looking to buy a car from them and you tell them, well, my friend has bought a car for 50 grand. Well, you're not in the right dealership.
So it's all about what you want to put into your home, what you want to put into your car, all the bells and whistles, and what the end product is going to be. So let's start by talking about our own kitchen, some of the higher price ticket items and some things that you may or may not be thinking of and the value that it holds. So let's start with appliances. This is my favorite thing in our kitchen remodel, actually. When we were coming on to remodel our kitchen, I actually said from the very beginning when we started our company, I was like, I want a commercial grade refrigerator, fridge refrigerator combo, and I want this exact one. And that never changed up until we remodeled. And I was like, yep, I still want that. So this to me was very much worth what the price was gonna be. We do always tell homeowners, we're like, budget $10,000 for your appliances. Sometimes homeowners are like, whoa, I'm not gonna be spending that much. And what we find happens is they get in, they start learning about everything, how some features can help with them, maybe some that they don't need. But what happens is very quickly they're realizing that it can, be double the price point of $10,000.
Another big ticket item that people can look over is your cabinetry. So in our kitchen, we have prefab cabinetry because we didn't have the budget for custom at the time. Our number one regret in our kitchen is that we didn't go custom.
Yes.
Because one, the quality, and then number two, the fit and finish on custom. Obviously with the word custom, they're fit for your room.
There's a lot of things that go into customized cabinets. One is definitely the color that you can choose. If it is prefab or semi-custom, your color options might be limited. I am actually very happy with the color that we went with our cabinets.
But one thing to add to that is if you do have any damage, which is going to happen, a prefab cabinet is very hard to match the finish, where if you have a custom shop do it, they're gonna have the paint or the finish information for you to do any kind of touch-up work.
Yeah, exactly. And we have 3 young kids, and also we take good care of the things within our home. And with that being said, our cabinets, you can see, have dings all over them. Now we've invested in really nice quartz durable countertops that were also a hefty price point. And the last thing that we're gonna do is get rid of these to reinstall our cabinets right now. But with Jamie being said too, we were limited on different modifications that we can do within our cabinets. So just different areas that I would have loved to have, storage compartments and different organization within our cabinets and different features that were not an option when it comes to prefab, which that is okay in some situations, and sometimes the budget doesn't allow for more. But then also be educated to know that if that is the fact, and if you do have to, have a more affordable option like we did, when we are seeing all of our scratches and our dings and our warping going on, we're just like, we got what we paid for, and that's the way it is. Yeah. Whereas there has been situations where, there is gapping and semi-custom cabinetry that we've done, and then they don't like that, but it's like, well, then you have to pay the price point to get that custom finish look that you want.
Internally, the custom cabinetry, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can have pull-outs, you can have different shelving and pull-out drawers and everything. Prefab or cheaper, you're not going to have all that.
Yeah, and I'd say too, it depends on the shape. A lot of times people aren't thinking about the shape of their room or the layout of their room. And sometimes, for us, we basically have a square of a kitchen, but sometimes that's not the case. So it gets really complex and complicated to not have custom cabinetry. So if you decide to go custom, what can the price range look like?
Again, every kitchen is different, the area of the room, but I would say to go custom, you're probably 20,000 and up.
Yeah,
we did a kitchen last year where the cabinetry alone was about $85,000
just for the cabinetry alone.
Yeah.
So again, depends how many, for us, we don't have a lot of uppers over here. We have floating shelves. It depends how much cabinets you're putting in. And also it can depend on how many drawers versus doors. Like right now, for the most part, all our clients want mostly drawers. Drawers are costing more than doors. It even matters when you have, you know, there's some cabinets we've done with the lift up, you know, versus the lift open, and the lift open versus lift open and slide in with the doors. Like all those have prices range a lot. So also just knowing though, giving yourself a healthy budget and knowing where you can land. I always say with custom cabinetry, you know, for a standard kitchen, like easily you could be around the $40,000 price range. So I'm like, with your cabinetry and your appliances, we're talking just the material, you're looking right there, you're already at the $50,000 price range. So countertops, another hefty price point ticket item, but we are cooking on this, we're cleaning on this, doing our homework on this. We live in the kitchen day and night, and even for us, we have a dining room with a big table, but our family of 5 is constantly around this island, from doing homework, to watching our iPads, to doing art projects, to cutting chicken. Not only does the design matter, the manufacturer, the fabricator you're hiring, but the material. Well, the fit and finish of it. Fit and finish. The thickness of it. Yep, thickness. You can see on our island, we did a thicker on our island. We did a thinner on the outer surround. We like quartz because it's a very durable product. With our supplier that we work with, we just have a great partnership and relationship, and there is never an issue that we've ever ran into that we have not been able to fix over the course of the 10 years we've been in business. And I can count on one hand that we've even ran into issues, and it's never been, it's been because of, you know, maybe the lefse girdle was left on the island for a bit too long when you should put it on a cutting board. I knew I was not going to be sealing our countertops once a year. And so that's why we opted not to do granite. I also knew that we needed something that, you know, has a lifetime guarantee, that we're here for the long run. And I also just really do appreciate and love the look of quartz. But if you do have products such as granite, just know that you have to seal it, or things can seep into your countertop, you know, from chicken juice to wine stains to your kids' virus that they have. And so just think about stuff like that. So long term, how long you're going to have it. And again, your countertops can range from anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000, I would say, on average. I think ours were around $8,000. And so again, right there, you got the... But again, it comes back to the dimension of the kitchen, the area you're covering. Like, the larger the kitchen, the more material, the more it's going to cost. Yep. How much you want your overhang. If you want your overhang a certain amount, you might need some support. That all costs money too and is factored into it. The finish is another one. For us, we wanted a matte finish. That was a must-have of Jamie. And so a matte finish costs more than a gloss finish. So simple things like that too that you might not be thinking about or that might be overlooked. Another one when it comes to countertop and even moving into the backsplash is our clients love the seamless design look of countertop extending to backsplash. And sometimes they're like, oh, that'll be less money. I'm not sure why, but it's definitely not. Countertops are expensive. And then on top of that, there's a longer process within the install. Like, this needs to be fabricated, installed. And then they have to come back, measure, and then they can do that one. Yep. And then that has to go get made, cut, fit to size, back, installed. And so a lot of that times too comes longer process. And with longer process, time is money. It's a lot more money to do different things like that. And then I guess on top of that, like, there's all the other things such as your flooring, your sink, your faucet, your lighting, a lot of things people aren't thinking about. And you could talk to this, but I always say the things behind the pretty things are what take the longest and that are extremely important and that are often overlooked, and also just uneducated or misunderstood of how important those things are and how much money they cost. Yeah, like, even if you're not changing your layout of the kitchen, you have to get like a plumber, an electrician, a drywall contractor, all these other people, maybe a mechanical contractor if you're venting a hood. All these people, which are professionals in their own and cost a lot of money, they all have to come in the front end and do all their work. And then we have to bring things up to code, where, again, we have no control over that. But if we're making the kitchen up to today's code, then that costs money as well. we have to, as licensed general contractors, like we have to pull permits. We have to have inspectors out when they come out and they see different things.
And we have to have these professional other trades. We cannot do it.
Right. And so a lot of times people are like, oh, my X, Y, and Z is an electrician. And it's like, well, are they licensed and insured? Like we have to be liable for all of that through the city. And every city is so different, especially within kitchens. I mean, walls are going up now again, but when they're coming down, we're talking engineers, we're talking support beams, we're talking putting structural things behind the walls in order to make sure that all this can flow and be done.
Having drawings done to pull your permit, and the permits are not cheap. Everything adds up.
Exactly. And the drywall and the paint and all those different finishes. So all that to be said, honey, how much does a kitchen remodel cost?
How much does a car cost?
That is a great answer. You know, we have a whole blog post on this too. We will link it for you guys, but we have a list of all the things that go into a kitchen remodel, line itemed for you guys so that you can see exactly how much our kitchen remodel costs here. And you can start to think about those things, and you can start to, you know, before you're even vetting the contractor possibly, start to go and look at the resources out there and to see how much things are costing, because then you're going to know when you approach a general contractor and you want a bid on your kitchen remodel, if things are in line, and then you'll know what's realistic or not. But I will say, when people do ask how much a kitchen remodel costs, I always say, if you want to have the kitchen that you should want, that because you're investing in this remodel and not to cut corners. And again, this is different per state as well. Like things just are different. But for here, locally, for us, if we were servicing you, we would always say, you know, plan around, it can be $80,000 to $130,000 is what I say. But if you want that good kitchen that's customizable, that you're going to be really happy with, I always say $130,000, because also it can be a lot more than that. Awesome. So if you guys have any comments, thoughts, just a lot of things to factor in when you're thinking about the cost of your kitchen remodel. And we have all of this on constructiontostyle.com. And any other questions or thoughts or comments when it comes to kitchens, drop a comment or hit us up on any of our social channels and we'll be sure to answer your questions.